Last week on Burke Learns Blazor.
I talked Burke into a potentially bad idea. I don't know.
So here's the idea. And if you log in,
and that's .NET 6.
Should I upgrade it?
Yeah. Yep.
We've now just left the tutorial and we're doing
2 errors.
so many things also have fails.
Okay, so we need to install these. I didn't say you installed it. So why don't you go?
All right.
Yeah.
Breathe the air. Breathe the air. I don't have time for that, man. I'm trying to. There's a literal hurricane outside my window.
Wow.
What?
Azure Static Web App. The storm came for Burke. I don't think he's pretending it was a storm. I think it was a real storm.
And my internet's back. I feel like I just want to stay here and try to figure this out. Like
Do you? Burke, I was
I'm tethered on my phone with like 1 bar.
I don't know. Just even watching that makes me nervous, Burke. I don't know. Wow.
I don't want to do this.
No, it's going to be great today. Okay, so how's the weather in your area?
Dude, the sun is it's partially cloudy, but nothing like it was last time.
Okay.
Oh man,
right.
how long did it take you to make that?
Actually, it was relatively quick. I've been using Clipchamp, and they have really good like stock stuff, like sound effects and music and stuff. And then I just kind of watched through on like 3 or 4 times speed and clipped out some great parts. So
yeah, that was great, man. Awesome. It captured the feeling of the whole stream really well. Which is like...
Okay, so let's talk through a few things. I think we should recap what we're building. And then we should let's also, I want to clarify one thing from comments. This is unscripted. Like we are putting in some time between shows to kind of review technically what we're doing and all that, but we're being careful not to over script it. I mean, Burke, you and I, like, we give technical talks all the time. We know how to like make it look good, right? We can do the stagecraft.
Yep, exactly.
And that's fine. There's tons of other shows on all our other channels that, you know, like, but this, we're live programming, and it's uncomfortable, really, a little bit. You know, it's fun, but it's a little scary. And, you know, but so if you want a super polished show, maybe not watch
this ain't it. Yeah, so here's the deal, chat. Like when you see these YouTubers or presentations or whatever, right? And they're just banging out a project and it's like everything they do just works. They've rehearsed that at least 100 times before they do it in front of you. And even then stuff goes wrong and you can't figure it out. Okay. So that's not real programming. Cecil, what's up, man? Cecil, y'all, Cecil helped build this application. So we're trying to give you real programming here, and it's gonna be rough, but we figured that's more authentic than us just going off and building the thing and then coming back and building it with you.
Yeah.
All right.
And then I guess one other thing is we should show, let me throw your screen on then. Let's go to that.
Thanks, so Mark. Appreciate Mark's moral support here. All right, yeah, so this is the application we're building just as a reminder. I think our likenesses are in the way of the...
yeah, let me move us.
But you can put a link in, and you can create lists of links. It pulls in the open graph information, unless you're Twitter and then you don't have any, for whatever reason. Oh, right. I entered this URL wrong, right? You can delete things, you can reorder them. And then when you're ready, you can pull in, you know, you can put a description here, and then you can publish this, and it gives you one link. So it's like the URL is / whatever. And if you don't put anything in here and actually like, this is not even gonna come back. Let's do a different one. If you don't put a link in here and you just click publish, like this will still work and it'll stick like a random, it's just like Bitly, right? Or you can put a custom one in. And then if you log in, you can manage your links, right? So if you log in and you create them, you have a dashboard, which we can't actually get to because the authentication doesn't work anymore because of Twitter API changes. But the actual dashboard for your own list looks like this, right?
Yep.
So you can go to back to your list, you can reorder, you can add things, you can save. That's the idea of the application. It's really just a list of things, right? It's not on the surface. We're not training a large language model, or we're trying to like decode the human genome here. Like all we're doing is just a list of, and it's still really hard. Okay. Yeah. That's the funny thing about this. So
well, and so the original version of this that you built out was Azure Azure Storage, View, Azure Functions, Cosmos DB.
Yes. C# on the function on the API, View on the front end. Front door is in there because of like domain weirdness. And so we're rewriting this for a lot of reasons, because Twitter failed us, because we don't really need all the Azure stuff that we have anymore. All of this is now handled by a single service, and it's like borderline free, if not free.
Yeah.
And so it's just
the stuff that you had to manually hook all the stuff together before. Now,
correct.
Everything you were trying to do is basically packaged as a service, right?
It was pretty rough. Yeah. And then Cecil, who's here, Cecil and I gave a talk at Build 2019. In fact, I think that was one of the first links we created was the bad and the ugly of Oh yeah. So this is a talk we did. We did an hour talk on how to stand up a static web application on Azure, because that was just the reality then. Now that's not the case. So it's time to plus, like, we're devs. We rebuild stuff. That's what devs do. You just need
it's part of the fun, right? Yeah. And once you learn some lessons and, so we're wanting to tack on some new API front ends. We want to build it on the like shipped service. You save some money on I guess, on some of the Azure services. Be a little bit more nimble. Like Azure static web apps includes a bunch of really cool like CI/CD stuff, which we'll look into some today. And then also like being on the latest, greatest modern stuff will make it a little easier to contribute and like build other features on maybe too. So.
All right. So with that out of the way, last week was rough for a lot of reasons. And so what we've kind of decided to do is just like start over and take a more calculated approach to this and start in the recommended place instead of where we started, which was on an older version of functions in Blazor.
I'll try and recap what we did, because like it's kind of interesting to see. We went through a tutorial. The tutorial was built on .NET 6. There's a few differences going from .NET 6 to .NET 7 for both functions and Blazor. We just kind of went for it. So we updated the CS proj file and we just tried to run it. And there's a few things that changed with that. So Blazor just has some different things between how the HTML and the JavaScript and the backend stuff, the dependencies are hooked together. Functions also changed their hosting model. So the new Functions version 4 isolated hosting model, I love it. It's a lot more kind of standard. It feels more like ASP.NET, which I'm used to, but it is different. So migrating all that stuff over, it's going to take some time and probably not, worth doing on screen. So yeah, I think we can go. I sent over the link in our chat here.
Yeah, so we're going to start with this template. We started with, essentially, you always start with a template that had .NET 6 and Functions 3, okay? We're now at .NET 7 and Functions 4, and there's so many changes between the two of those versions that we were trying to manually upgrade. Yeah. And it's better to just not start in an out-of-date, unsupported.
So if you go to this URL, and do /generate at the end of the URL, or do that. Fine.
Just click the buttons.
Okay.
All right. Let's see. We're doing it to select an organization.
Is it your browser profile?
No, I don't think. I think it's.
Oh.
I can still get it. It's the URL. I don't need to sign into any of those. And then y'all do uppercase, right? Is that right? In your what's the .NET?
Yeah, that works.
In JavaScript, everything's lowercase with dashes. I mean, for the most part, that's how we do it. But
yeah, I guess this is fine.
Okay.
Let's go public. Right, so why not?
Implementation of .com built for Azure static web apps. We'll make it public. We don't need this.
No.
I don't think I can deselect this though.
What?
Yeah, you can't deselect it. It's like
okay.
Anyway. It's like a warning. Hey, you have this integration. Do you want it? No. Too bad. Take it anyway. Is this the first thing where we're... Yeah, well, I mean, in essentially, yes.
Well, so we started on it. Yeah, so last week we started on it, and we are kind of doing a reset. So, Burke, you may not know, eGuild runs the BUnit project, which I think we may want to use in this. BUnit is like the testing framework for Blazor. So,
gotcha. Okay. Yeah, we talked about doing tests. So let's clone this repo.
So exciting.
There we go. Now,
what will happen?
A lot of, I need to delete like both of these. Can I delete this?
I even did a full pull request to update us to .NET or to Blazor .NET 7 template, and then we're just gone.
All right, here we are. The target framework in your project file does not match in your VS Code config.
Wait. Did we clone them wrong? What happened?
Yeah, I cloned it.
Oh, your VS Code config. Update your VS Code config. And then lesson learned here. Let's look at all those CS proj files. So go into client and API.
All right, I'll start with
yeah, it's already looking good.
Functions, .NET 7.
.NET 7, I like it.
Where is my formatting for CS proj files?
Yeah, you may not have your extensions.
I have the extension. Here's my Solution Explorer.
Yeah.
What if we do this? When in doubt, just reload the window.
That's weird.
Seems like it should. Does the extension contribute to
that? CS proj files, I don't know if CS proj files get pretty formatting.
Really? I thought that. I mean, isn't that the point of a new extension?
You would think.
Provides an improved experience. All right. Tim, where are you? Tim Hewer, get on here. All right.
Okay, well, so this is all looking good. And then one other thing, yeah, that looks pretty at least. Let's go into the client.
Do you want to check this?
Yeah, CS proj, you're going to see .NET 7. That's all
looking good.
Yeah, okay.
WebAssembly 7. I'm liking it.
So some things that are different in here from last week. The big things in the API. Pardon the backseat driving. I think this stuff's neat. Okay, there's no startup.cs. There used to be in the old thing, the old functions version. And then this one also, if you look at program CS.
Program.
So this is kind of this is going to look like, this is just kind of standard. This is how you do most of the other stuff in .NET, like ASP.NET or whatever. It used to be Azure Functions had kind of its own different hosting model thing. So,
okay, right. Very nice. So I'm going to take Jonathan's recommendation and update. Also, John, do you want to do live share so you can like jump into my project? And okay, so let's do that. I'm going to update. I think you're right, Jonathan. When in doubt, update insiders. Chat, are y'all using, for people that are using VS Code, do you use insiders? Curious how many people are actually using insiders. Let's see if that fixed it.
I'll be honest, I have insiders installed, but VS Code updates so rapidly anyways.
Yeah.
I don't feel like I need to, you know?
Yeah, it's every month for stable, and I think it's
Yeah.
like every night for I don't know. I shouldn't say that. I don't know.
Wow.
No. Jonathan, I'm sorry. It's a good suggestion though. Don't tell me there's another update. Don't do it to me. All right, let's do live share. I think I've got this on.
It's exciting. So I will pop mine open in Visual Studio Windows just because.
You're going to do it in Visual Studio?
Should I? I don't know.
Why not?
All right. How do you share the link with me?
I got to generate it. Hold on. I had to restart. Apparently I needed another update. Updates on updates.
Burke, why am I eating a dozen donuts?
I don't know. I was just like, what's something that people would tune in to watch? I was like, well,
okay.
I'll just put the John. Did you actually get a dozen donuts?
I mean, yeah, but
I didn't even ask you if it was okay to put that. I just put it in there.
I read the description and I was like, all right. Now, I mean
you're going to force me to do it.
They're pretty small.
All right, live share. Probably was going to want me to share. Okay.
Okay. Oh, it was copied. That's nice.
That's
so
pretty
now
cool.
you can
So let me
paste
just send it to you in the
chat thing.
In the chat. The back channel.
We have upgraded our resolution this week, by the way. Last week we were in 720p. James was like, what? He'd switched.
How? Is that from StreamYard?
Yeah.
Sabotage.
Here. Okay. Live share workspace. Oh, it popped me into. Okay. It's trying to open VS Code. I guess I'm opening VS Code.
Yeah, if you click it from the link, I think it does. Open VS Code. What does it want me to sign into? Oh, I do want to grant access to Azure Static Web Apps. Let's do that.
So I think the first thing we're going to want to try and do is like run this thing, right?
Yeah. So how do we do that?
Okay. So go into, I would open a terminal. I mean, there's probably a way you can do it directly in.
There is a launch config. Launch and debug standalone Blazor WebAssembly attached to .NET Functions, client and server. So here's the deal. Like you got to run, you can run the API and the front end separately, but the emulator is designed to glue all this stuff together, which we'll get to later, because y'all, when you have a static web app, you'll have the front end and then you'll have the API running, and all of your traffic is just /API. It just routes all that to your API. But when you're working locally, that doesn't work, obviously, right? So the emulator glues all this together, but we'll get there. I feel like I'm getting ahead of myself. People who don't know static web apps are like, what are you talking about? All right.
I'm going to try opening this from inside Visual Studio.
So I'm going to go to the API, and I think it's just func start.
You don't have to do CS proj now because this has the full thing. Yeah, just do func start. No, I was wrong. Okay, you do need C#. There is a setting in you can create a local setting or whatever. There's a JSON file that normally will set that for you.
Func start C#.
All right.
Looks better.
Join live share session.
Yeah, there we go. So we should have, yeah, here's our weather forecast. I think we're getting the standard Blazor setup, which is nice.
Yeah.
Also, let's get another terminal instance going here. And I don't know if y'all know this, but you can rename these things. We'll just call this one API.
I didn't know that, Burke. This is already providing value to me.
We'll call this one client. Yeah. John Galloway left. John Galloway joined. Change the icon. What can I change it to? What's API? What if I put an API? No, I don't. This is the kind of thing I would do, right? I would just like spend all this time trying to change the icon.
Right.
Writing code. All right. So this is .NET Watch, I believe. Man, this is so much better than last time already.
I know, right?
Oh my gosh.
Where's all the errors?
So,
This is too easy.
so
Okay, now
much
if you click,
better.
I believe if you click on fetch data, that's where the magic happens.
Yeah, but it doesn't see, this is the thing. Like, it doesn't know where the API is because /API doesn't go anywhere locally, right? So this is where we need the emulator. So the emulator, and we should be able to just check and see if this is actually installed. Okay, 1.3. So I forget. So the static web apps emulator.
Is that like the real thing, or is that like somewhere
This
in
looks like last week. Yeah.
Okay.
So we installed it, and then we have to do commands and options. Oh, there we go. Install init. We already initted. Swas start. Page not found. Sweet. Let's try that again. All right, so swas start, and then we have a URL. So I think we can just do swas start this, and then dash dash. It's like dash dash API location. API dev server. There we go. This is the one we want. Okay, so let's do this. So our front end is running on 5,000. Is that right? Blazor runs on 5,000.
5,000, yeah.
Double check that. Yeah. And our API is on 70, 71.
Mm-hmm.
That's right. So let's run this. Error localhost. Really? Oh, there's a config. Yeah, that's right. That's for the front end. Error localhost cannot be resolved to either IPv4 or IPv6. Please check your network settings. Huh.
Did it not say localhost?
It did say localhost.
Sometimes, I mean, you can change it around to like 0.0.0.0. Or, yeah, localhost should work though. That's so strange.
Yeah, like 0.0.0.0. Yeah, we could.
What's that? Well,
like the donuts. Talk about like this.
Yeah. I don't know. That's weird though. The SWA CLI thing should work.
Yeah, there we go.
All right, donuts.
That's weird.
We got a theme going this week here with the donuts.
Yeah, we have a new URL. So this. So okay. So see now we're on 4280 instead of 5,000. But now when we go to fetch data, we should get data. We still don't get data. I'm a liar. Wrong. Access to from origin.
Oh, cores.
Why would there be a cores policy locally? Is that a .NET thing?
Because you're going from localhost to zeros.
Oh, that's right.
Mm-hmm. You could change your browser here. Change that to zeros. We should probably figure out at some point. Maybe we need to Google up why. Yeah, still not happy.
I think it's still trying to go to localhost. Yeah, I think the emulator is trying to go to localhost, right?
So we may want to read up on the emulator. Maybe there's some
go back to that. But when we deploy this, this will actually work.
Yeah.
In the meantime,
it is kind of funny. It's easier to run in the cloud than locally.
What we could do is change the fetch data.
Oh, Great question here from Miguel. Maybe it's bound to something was bound to the port we were using.
To the local host?
Yeah.
I don't think so.
I mean, to the port on localhost.
No, because these two things are running, right? Like if they were.
Yeah.
But what we can do here, y'all, is we can just do this.
True. Now, when it's deployed, this is going to actually need to pull those from.
Yeah, it'll break when it's deployed. But for local, just to show you that this works.
Yeah, and I'd like to look more at that command line tool too, because I agree with this. Like it should kind of handle that for us.
Yeah, but look, it's doing it here too. There's a cores.
Oh, are you running under HTTPS?
No.
So normally that's what I try to do.
Cores is star.
Yeah, weird. Okay, what if you run under HTTPS?
That's a good question.
Uh, 5001. What? Is it still running?
Oh. Yeah, it doesn't like that.
Okay, scroll up a tiny bit in the console. Oh, it's only running on 5,000. Okay. Never mind me then.
What if, let's just try it like this. So what if we do, so this is launch.
Oh, here's one other question here or suggestion. Don't try and run it. Just launch it all from the SWA tool.
Launch everything from the emulator?
Yeah,
we could try that.
So close all or kill all the consoles.
Yeah. So that would be, it's like SWA start.
I think it wants to launch the stuff.
Yeah, it does. SWA connect to an already running. Serve content.
James with the good suggestion. Just reboot.
But it doesn't, I don't know how to start the front end, right? So if you say.
Yeah, I haven't used the SWA tool before. Is this, I mean, I would think either or. Like
Usually when you're using JavaScript, you have to do this, right? You have to start the front end. So.
Well, start the back end first, usually.
Well, you have to start the front end. The emulator, though, should start the back end. So you can do this, to be like.
So this is to connect to an already running back end?
No, it will run it for you. So in our case, it's like .api, SWA start, and then we just put the URL in here, like. And this should fire up the functions. Yeah, see? Oh, it says it's not waiting for it to be up and running. It's not up and running.
Yeah. I mean, so I'm still not totally is this to get around cores?
Yeah, I think so.
I mean,
that's the problem.
Because you can just run the back. Yeah. Oh, Jorge saying SWA init. And that is a thing, but we shouldn't have to do all this stuff. That's like done by the starter thing.
Yeah. So let's put this back. I tell you what, let's just deploy this thing and see if we can just.
That's what I was thinking. Yeah.
But where's the timeline? Initial commit. Yeah, this is the one I want to restore. Right? Because I don't remember what exactly the path was for each.
Yeah, and I think that's part of what this starter template does is it's supposed to kind of have the discovery stuff set up.
Yeah. I don't even know what that is. All right.
Okay, wait a second. There are actually steps in the thing. Go in the API isolated folder, copy local.settings.example.json. So in your API folder, is there a local.settings.example? Rename that to local.settings.
Oh, to local.settings.json.
Yeah.
Again, not following instructions.
Okay, so now let's not even do any of that SWA business. Just go to the API and do func start -- C sharp. This is pretty cool. I watch all the stuff in my live share.
Yeah, it's awesome. I'm glad you're looking at the chat because my brain is
okay. This is good, right? Now we can run that client.
Now running the client. Let's get this. There it is.
All right. Now, moment of truth. We got to browse to the fetch data in the Blazor front end.
But again, it won't work because
it works. It works.
It does work. It just works. How does it just work? How does it
because it's got the port wired up right there.
Where?
Local.settings. I think.
So you don't, but like, how does the
front... So before, remember when you were saying why isn't cores working? It was because it was
no. I get why cores was working, but like, why does the /API path work? Right. So look, /API /weather forecasts. It doesn't know. /API should be localhost :5000 /API /weather forecast. When calling from this is really annoying.
Scroll back to the left. Is there an HTTP client?
Yeah.
Okay, so go into the.
Yo, I can't deal with this freaking.
What is all that business?
It's from the extension.
Okay, so go into Program CS in the Blazor thing.
Hold on, I need to mute notifications. I can't even. What is this? No. Holy crap.
Wow.
Debug. Remove this. There we go. And hide notifications now. Where's my do not disturb? Do not disturb. Okay.
Okay. Now go into Program CS in the client app because I am betting that it configures an HTTP client. Base address, URI builder, configuration, API prefix.
Which is where?
That is going to be in static. Is there a static web app.config?
Yeah, there is. But this is just the fallback.
Your mute efforts failed.
Errors are still getting through.
Well, we're just all having fun, at least.
Where is this?
So normally there's going to be an app settings, but I don't see it there, and I'm not sure why not. And app settings.dev.
There it is.
There it is. Whoop.
That's how it knows.
That's how it knows.
Awesome. So we don't even. Well, we are going to need the emulator because at some point, because we're going to have to.
What's cool about this, though? See that app settings thing? Those are automatically overwritten in Azure by Azure App Settings.
All right, so let's deploy this thing and actually see this work. We have the extension, and I'm going to deploy it to my own account because I think we're going to end up blowing this thing away. Or no, is this the project or
our forever project?
Yeah.
I'm not sure. It's hard to say.
Let's say it is.
Okay.
And we'll put it in demos, static web apps.
So while you're doing that, I'll talk through a little bit more. This app settings.development.json. So the whole app settings thing with .NET, it has kind of this layered approach where like you set your settings for local, and then when you deploy it to Azure, it's going to look for an environment variable. And if there's an environment variable with the same name, it automatically overwrites it. So that's really handy because you can set whatever settings, you can put whatever keys, you can say, here's my local database or whatever, and it'll use that. And then in production, it automatically overwrites and there's no code changes required. All right, creating the static web app.
Oh, where do we want to put it? The most important one. Always like, I don't care. Blazor.
Yeah.
Client. Yes.
Oh, this you actually have to fill this business in here.
No, it's filled in already.
Pre-configured. Okay.
Enter the location of your build output. Too. Is that right?
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, I think.
Not sure. Failed. Disallowed by policy. Oh.
You need an
I don't have permissions to do this. They basically they've locked me out of this, y'all.
They won't let you be great, Burke.
No, let's try it in this one. And then if not, I'll go to like, man, that's mean.
That's rough. Yeah, I think this is my fourth donut. I'm not sure.
You're almost halfway there. When you create resources in Azure, John, what is the right? Is it supposed to be like this? Stuff's important to me. Is it supposed to be like this, right? Or is it like this?
I don't think it matters. I mean, so some have strict rules, some don't.
What do you do?
What do I do? A static.
What is called?
I end up looking at how other people are doing them. You know what I mean? What the
I hear you. All right, so that's right. That's the same. Will it let us do it now? No. Okay, so we have no choice but to do it in my personal subscription.
All right.
I mean which this is a problem, but
I recently had a Azure account. I shared a resource group with someone else for a demo, and the thing was still running apparently. And my Azure went over its budget, and then over $150. I was like,
whoa,
yeah. So I had no Azure for like a week.
All right, so that succeeded. It says click to view resource, but that doesn't actually do. Oh, it just opens in the sidebar. Browse the site. It's not going to work because it's not going to be deployed yet, but
it's live. It's waiting for content.
Yeah, so let's go to the GitHub repo.
And this is where we start getting into some of the CI/CD stuff, which is exciting.
So here's our application, not to be confused with this one, which was the old one.
Should we delete?
Yes, we should. I didn't want to delete it at first because I
or maybe don't. Hey, well, before deleting the old one, look at. Oh, I didn't create the pull request yet. Well, no. It was a pull request update.
Let's just kill it to avoid
confusion. It's gone. Tears in the rain.
I have read, yes. Oh, no, wait. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
See ya.
Oh, wait, don't.
All right. So actions, we should have an action here. Yeah.
Okay.
Right, so what's happening?
This is amazing. I love GitHub Actions. Okay. Can you click on the workflow file in the bottom left? So, oh yeah. What else? What are we doing here? Okay, so it's checking out. It's build and deploy. The build and deploy does some neat stuff where it actually pushes it out to Azure.
Yeah. So
yeah.
When we created this, y'all, it added this file to the project. And I'm not great with the Solution Explorer, so you'll see me jump out here. This folder didn't exist.
Mm-hmm.
This file in here is what configures the CI/CD for us automatically.
That's the same file we were just looking at, right?
Right, exactly.
Okay, so there's some magic stuff going on here, by the way. There's this thing called Oryx. And do you know much about Oryx?
It used to be Kudu. Oryx is the new build tool.
Yes, exactly. And okay, so I'm going to send Here, I'll just pasting in the comments, but I'll chat it over to you too. This thing is crazy. I don't know why I put it in the comments. That was silly of me. Okay. There's Oryx is this. Oh yeah. James wants to zoom. Bring the zoom.
He wants me to zoom?
I guess. Yeah. Okay. So it's building it. Yeah, there we go. Okay. Check out the thing I sent you in the chat. Oryx. So what's neat? So yeah, it's the old Kudu, but what it does is it detects the different, it can detect your project type, because like Azure and all the Azure hosting things can run multiple different types. You could have run, your functions could have run in Python or .NET or whatever, right? And so Oryx will detect that. And then it's what actually is like, oh, this is a Blazor static web app with a function. That means we need to configure this workflow and all that stuff.
And that's what it's doing now. So if you can see it built it and then it deployed it. So if we go back here and refresh, boom. Does this work?
Yeah. Okay. So you could, I mean, I don't know if we want to, you could share that link in the chat. Anyone can go to this. This is a public, this is the earliest. Very exciting. Here. Burke, we're pivoting, by the way.
Holy crap. Are we? No, please no.
Well, the earliest used to serve up URLs, and now
it's weather.
It's a weather app. And it serves
freaking amazing. Now what do we do?
So one thing I was thinking is I want to send you a pull request.
Okay.
And the reason I want to do that is because there's also some automation, some CI/CD stuff around that, around pull requests. So I am like on the fly. Let's do this. Gonna go in.
You're changing the app.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, let me go in here. I'm doing it in the browser because why not? Okay. Let's share my screen. Let's share this. Boop. Yeah. Okay. Share it. Let's go up there. Okay. Let's go in and change in the client. I'm going to change something in the pages index. I'm going to say hello. Oops. Let's go edit. Hello. Oops. I got to fork it. I'm not sharing anymore. What happened? I stopped sharing. Rookie mistake, John. Okay, don't worry about it. It's happening. It's going to be right there. Add to stream. There we go. All right. Hello.
Just change it to the URL list. So that's what it's going to be.
Okay. Right here?
Yeah. So that'll be in the H1, yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah,
okay.
That's right.
Okay, and how are... Okay, whatever. There we go. Propose changes, and then I'm going to create a pull request. We're going to see what's happening. Update. Okay. So now a magical thing's going to happen. Let's switch back over to you.
All right.
Go over to the repo. And you should see, okay, so see that thing going, and you see the little, stuff's happening.
There's an action running, and what it's going to do is it's going to build and deploy this as a preview.
Yeah.
You'll see here in a minute that we can actually look at and decide if we like it before we merge the pull request, right? Because a lot of times and this saves you having to pull down, build, run, right? You can preview the change and see it right here.
Especially for the case where it's like, hey, we've got a function, we've got a Blazor front end, we've got multiple different things. I don't have time to review your pull request, Burke, because, that's a lot of stuff going on. But here it's like a live one I can click through and get an idea that it's actually running. So
yeah.
Okay, so when the chat, oh my gosh, did I break it?
It
How did I mess that up?
failed? Hold on. Deployment token was not provided.
I don't even know what's going on there.
That's strange. Really?
This sounds vaguely familiar. Deployment token. That's interesting. Can we rerun that one?
Yeah. Is it because you're not a member? You are a member though, right?
That's possible. Yeah, maybe my repo doesn't have. I do remember a little bit reading.
Did you fork it? Did you fork it, John, or did you just go directly against it?
I think I went directly against it. No, I did fork it.
Yeah, go directly against it.
Okay.
Not that it should matter. I mean, you submitted the pull request to the main repo, but
yeah.
Let me make sure
I'm not sure if it allowed me to do that. I think, is there branch protection on there?
Let's see. Nope.
Okay.
Collaborators. All right, let's add people.
That's me.
Right, maintain admin. We'll make you an admin.
Oh my gosh, so much power.
Power, yeah. I was about to say, pending invite. Here, I'll copy it in for you. Make it easy.
Yeah. So James is right, and there's a way you can go through and you can add these like GitHub secrets.
That is crazy. Yeah, he's right there, and that's just to stop anybody from. You don't want just anybody to be able to.
Yeah.
Run your GitHub actions because your CI/CDs might be something that you're paying for, and if anybody can just come in and build.
Yeah, it can be malicious, right? And somebody did comment something about that. Like, it's something you do want to think about of, do you want to allow, but so once you've kind of thought through it, I mean, it is a very kind of powerful thing. Let me close my old PR, create a new one. So it's not good.
I'm rerunning it. It's from you, so it should work. Hopefully, we shall see.
If not, I'll just close it. Yeah, I think I can redo that. It was some pretty beautiful code that I did, but so while it's doing that, we can recap a bit. We are rebuilding a site that allows you to share a list of links. It was previously built, 4 years ago, on Azure Storage with View and functions.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, we're rebuilding this app here.
Okay, I'm going to close my pull requests.
We need to look into. We'll fix that for next time. But
yeah, let's make that a homework assignment.
But so for y'all, for reference though, like I'm going to make the change here in my own client. So let's go to
but I want to see the pull request.
You want to what?
I mean, we want to see the actual pull request, don't we?
We do, yeah. But I just want to show the CI/CD. Like if I do it, if I deploy, like where. So now we're in a place where I don't know what I'm doing. Okay, index. So index. This is a change. Yeah.
Oh, are you going to create a pull request?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, because it will let me do it.
I bet it'll let me do it too. I'm creating a pull request anyhow. It's a race.
I'm going to deny it. Oh, I need to do a new branch.
Oh, I just committed directly. I didn't create a pull request.
That'll work too.
You're going to kick me out. There was a question from DRC. Can you accept John's PR? We could have done that, but what we want to show is the now you're going to have a merge conflict.
Am I?
Or no, you're not. It's going to, I don't know what's going to happen.
Let's find out. Let's go.
We're already up on last week. We have no
problems. Yeah. So I made a PR compare. Please merge and stuff. Create a pull request.
All right, exciting. Okay, so now we're going to see that, and we'll get the preview page. So we actually use this like on the .NET website. It actually creates these like deployment slots with previews and all that. It's super useful because if somebody's making a tweak to a page, you want to make sure it actually looks good. Or if you're sharing like, hey, what do you think of this design? You can create a PR and share it around. But it takes some work to set up. So this is awesome that it's just kind of built in.
So hopefully this works.
I need to set up some.
Let's go.
Okay.
Yeah, it's just a permissions thing. We should look into that though, because that's
the deployment token.
All
right.
There's like some errors. Like what is that? Making me nervous.
Bullseye.
There's so much going on. I have no idea.
It does a lot of stuff, right?
Yeah.
So there, for instance, mscripting, that's because like it's actually doing AOT compilation for Blazor, which is pretty amazing. The Blazor WebAssembly stuff, it does some like optimization and trimming. But yeah, it runs a lot.
Yeah, I mean, I imagine having to set all this stuff up yourself. I would have no idea. All right, so while this is running, because it's going to take just a second here, what do we want to do next, John? Do we want to actually?
Oh well, wait just a sec. I got a question to answer here. This is a great thing. Are you using Linux servers to deploy .NET apps? I mean, like, so yeah, so that's a Docker build running against Debian. You're building on a Mac. I've got the code running on Windows. So .NET is it's a cross-platform thing. So I think what we want to do next is I think we should create a project in GitHub. And start doing a Kanban board style, like make a list of things to
stuff
do.
That we need to do. Okay. Do we want to go through though and do like the essentials of Blazor? Like there's a counter demo or there's a counter tutorial that we could go through.
Sure.
Just
and you were curious about binding, and there's a pretty good like thing on the page about binding.
Yeah. So I think the one that I went to was I was looking for. Not community stand-up, not this.
Blazor, yep.
Okay, and then this one. No? Where is it? Y'all have a really good tutorial.
Oh, okay. Go back to Blazor, the Blazor links, right? Two up from NPM.
Two up from what? Here. Okay.
Now click on Get Started.
Yeah, this is it. Mac OS. Yeah, I'm sure this is it. So this is generating a new app. We've already done this. .NET. So you recognize this.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So then.
Well, let's take just a second to look at this. So this is Razor syntax. Razor is it's the syntax that we use in .NET land that merges together C# code and HTML. So that top line is called a directive. And that is kind of like a thing that says, this is the page, this is the URL that maps to it. You can also do binding for parameters being passed into it, some other stuff there. Yep, there you go. Then you'll see below in the page, there's a mix. There's HTML, there's C#, and then there's other stuff that looks like HTML, but it's like survey prompt or page title. And so those are components. And those are just kind of built in. That survey prompt is a component. So if you look in shared, you'll see survey prompt.
Yeah, it's right there.
Yep. So this is actually, kind of a common standard thing now in web dev where you kind of have these components and stuff. So it's just kind of using that sort of thing. So here is like your standard like Blazor page, right? You've got your HTML at the top, and then you've got your code at the bottom. You can have as much code as you want there. If it bugs you, you can also move that to a separate file. And then here, there's the binding thing going on where that @ title is going to bind to the public title property thing below.
This one here, but we're passing this in here.
Yep. So when you create survey prompt title equals, the code thing at the bottom runs when the page loads, and it sets that value. So if you go back to survey prompt.razor, see where it says public string title.
It's listed as parameter.
Yeah.
So let's go through, because I think this actually goes through this.
It's going to cover some of that
tutorial here. Yeah. So it's telling us to look at this. We've already did this. We actually changed it a little bit. Try the counter. So let's go to the counter. And it wants us to actually try the counter. All right, try the counter.
It's exciting.
That's the deployed one. Here's our local one.
Oh,
that works.
So that's running locally?
Yes.
And you ran it with .NET Watch? Okay, so go into, just for fun, go into VS Code if you've still got it running. And change, see where it says current count plus plus?
Yep.
Do current count plus equals 10. Yeah, and save. Now,
I didn't even have to, it didn't even refresh. It just like,
no.
that's
so
pretty
that's
cool.
hot reload. And that just, it patches that code in locally for you.
So we go to the counter file and a request for counter. The on click event is fired, the increment count method, and the current. Okay, so here, let me turn on word wrap. And I'm going to zoom out just a bit because it's so huge. But so on click, this is binding to the increment count method here.
Mm-hmm. So that anytime in Blazor where you see that at and a event, that's just binding to the on click, and it's saying don't bind this in the traditional HTML way. Bind it to a Blazor event handler.
And then the private int, so it's incrementing this variable, and this variable is bound like this. Current
and so what took, I think this is kind of like more standard in JavaScript land or whatever. This actually threw me a bit when I was moving from, because I mostly build server-side apps, and I'm used to MVC and Razor pages. And it confused me when changing a value automatically updated that current count.
Right.
And it's just like
two-way data binding by default.
It's, yeah, exactly. So, and then there's also a neat thing. I don't know if it covers it in here, but there's actually some stuff in the binding where it shows more of that two-way data binding where you're typing a value into an input box and it updates a text thing.
Yeah, let's continue on here.
Yeah,
I think that's what it's going to. So open the index file in the text editor of your choice, which should be via Visual Studio Code or Visual Studio. What is this? Got to change this. Text editor.
Yeah.
I'm just kidding. All right, the index file already exists, which we were in. It's located in the pages folder. Yeah. Add a counter component to the app's homepage by adding the counter. Okay, so no. Okay, so just page title, survey prompt, and I can just add counter down here.
Yep.
And let's see if, yeah, there it is. So what's different here between this and something like Reactor View is that when you have a component in JavaScript, you have to import it, right? It's something like, import counter from, components / counter, whatever it is.
Yeah.
But in Razor, it just automatically just knows about everything.
Yeah. And it's partly because like they're all in the same in the same namespace and the same like thing. And so there's some default like imports where it's able to find them. You can also package, you can segment things off. You can create shared libraries and stuff, but yeah.
All right. So we've changed this. We got the counter on the home page. So modify the component. Component parameters.
Oh, they're going to have you do what I just did probably.
Are specified using attributes or child content, which allow you to set properties on a child component. Okay. Define a parameter on the counter component for specifying how much it increments with every button click. So we just looked at this, but let's do it. So what am I doing? Let's go to the
So
counter.
they're having you add in a new parameter that's going to be the increment amount.
Right. So we'll do, and that's what is prop tab.
Yeah.
Prop tab. Nope. It's Copilot. Well, what if it's like, wait, hold on. Create a public int for increment amount that is a parameter. Just like Copilot do it. Nope. There we go.
Oh, there. No, okay.
Okay. Yes. Okay.
All right.
That's exactly what it told us to do. Perfect.
That word wrap thing is throwing me off.
Oh, my bad. Yeah.
No, it's fine. It's fine. I'm just always like, that shouldn't work.
Oh, why? Because it's on a different line?
Yeah.
Yeah. I really should increase. You know what we should do here? Whoop.
I'm learning all these VS Code tricks from you, by the way.
My font size, where's font? I should change the default font size. I think it's font family, font size. Let's change it to like 14. Okay. And then what we can do is zoom out on the workbench.
Oh,
and nice. That gives us more room for code and it makes this stuff smaller. So where were we? All right, now we're all on one line. So
now that line below where current count plus equals, you can have it add increment amount.
Which I wonder, like, can Copilot get this because it's got the context? Yep.
What do we even doing here? Copilot, finish this live stream.
Yeah, we're just pressing enter. All right. Now counter increment amount equals 10. So now let's see if Copilot can get this. Right. So we're just going to take, so Copilot knows, y'all, it knows about other files that we have open, and it knows what we've been doing because it remembers, it has history. So let's see if it can.
It's easy when you're sleeping.
Can it guess what I'm going to try to do here? Nope.
No.
Let's help it. Counter.
No,
it cannot. Wow, it totally just face planted. So increment amount equals 10. Yeah, it's gonna.
No, let's make it a different number. Increment amount equals something else. There we go. We're going big. Oh, you need an int. You're too much for an int now.
Wait a minute. So there's type checking.
Yeah.
On the int because it's an int here.
Yeah. Wow. So this is part of the thing, right? This is .NET compiled code. Like it's compiling and checking it and all that. Yeah. Okay.
Will that work? Is that not?
It has an int.
It's not a float, Burke. All right.
Okay, you've written all the tests for it. This is nice.
I just want to start over.
All right. An error.
What happened?
I don't know. Something
An unhandled error occurred. Reload.
What?
Why? Oh.
So that I don't know why they call that a rude edit.
Yeah, we should figure out why that's called a rude edit.
I love it. Stop being so rude, Burke. Okay. Started. Running. What's happening?
I don't know.
This was supposed to be easy.
Localhost was denied?
Is it? I don't even know.
What?
It may be bound. Was the old process still running?
Exited building, started, content path, press Control C to shut down. It's running on localhost 5000, which I've lost access to.
Yeah,
Is it? That is what?
I think the port's in use.
All right, let's try this. Whoa. There's a bunch of them.
A lot of 5,000s happening there.
So where are we? Hold on, I gotta make this bigger. 714 and 974. There's
just killing PIDs over there.
Come on.
Started.
What is going on here? Building.
We may be at the limit of what we're getting out of this anyways.
Why would that fail? That makes no common sense. Yeah. I wonder. Hot reload's working. It's trying to work. Yeah, I don't know, man. That's odd.
Is there? Are you sure that? Can you check again if the port was freed?
Doesn't have a problem with that. All right. I don't know what's up with my local host, but all right. So there it is. It's working.
Oh, okay.
6. And I think that's like the all of it. Now it wants me to watch this guy with his shiny jacket. Jeff Fritz.
Nice.
To do that. Okay, so what do we want to keep going or what do we want to do here?
What I think we should do. Okay, let's look at the documentation because I do want to look at two-way data binding a little bit more.
The documentation? Okay.
Yeah. So on the bottom right where it says Blazor documentation. Up. Yep. And then there's gosh, this is tiny. There's a thing in here on binding that I actually really liked. It's in the Blazor section. Oh, yeah, that'll work.
Data binding, web apps, Blazor?
Yeah, I think that'll work. You scroll down a slight bit. So they go into a lot of detail. You can control quite a bit of stuff. If you scroll down just a little bit there, see where it has this thing. So copy this entire thing in there.
This whole thing?
Yep. And let's create a new page.
Called bind?
Yeah. Bind.razor and paste that in. Okay. And who knows? Will this work? We don't know.
Root edit.
Okay.
All right. So let's go back here.
Go to bind.
I'm denied from my own local host. It's like being locked out of your own house. And then go to /bind, right?
Yeah. Okay.
It only changes on blur.
So that is, then within this page, there's a lot more information in there about so it shows below, not updated when the components render, whatever. Like there's stuff in here where you can do bind after, you can do on change. So like a little bit below, it has a bind on change.
So bind on change, normal binding on change. Are you kidding me?
No, you don't have to do all that. That's like this is a magic thing that would happen. There's a lot more in here. Like if you scroll down a little bit more.
Sorry, let me come over here.
Yeah. So that like there's the bind on input and But
how would I get this to update? Like, so this is the difference, right? In Vue, this would just work, right? You would just type.
Yeah. So see this here, bind event on input is where it's going to.
So this is what we need to change. here, right?
Yeah, up above.
Oh, sorry. Here.
I would replace this entire. Yeah, this may work. I don't know. So Gil's saying just use bind.
Yeah, it's still not. So just use what? That's what we're doing.
Yeah.
On input.
I feel like this page goes it goes deep fast instead of showing the simple case, because there definitely is the thing with the binding I'm used to. When you type, they automatically update as you type.
Oh, you know why? Because it's bound to input value, not input value.
Oh.
I bet you it has to be. It's bound to the private string instead of the public, the getter setter.
But Gil says we do need the bind event. Yeah. So this might be something let's dig into for another time, because this is going to be a little boring to watch.
Like, why won't this just work? Like, this is the stuff when I work with Blazor. I'm like, I don't understand. This is so easy. Why doesn't this just work? Oh, it's not even. It's not updating. Did it crash? Oh, what's happening?
That's actually right.
No, it's not. Look, I took one of those inputs out, didn't I? I did. There's still two inputs here.
Oh. Okay. So Gil's saying that is normally the way that it works, is it updates on tab out. I do know you can do it on key press, but I'm not sure what the setup for that is.
Okay.
So you can Control C and .NET watch it again. It may not have caught the change.
Change the URL. No, there's So in that case, we just shut this.
Oh,
down.
you did change. So yeah, I would put that thing back to, instead of bind event, change that to bind for the top. Whatever. So I think what we should do probably at this point is go in and like do our Kanban board and plan out what we want to do.
What we're going to do next. Okay.
Yeah.
So let's do.
And we can include on that list new project. Let's drop us over here.
Where to go? New project.
I don't know where to put us.
There we go.
All right. It's exciting.
Do we want a board?
I think a board. There's also a team backlog. Nah, I think this is good.
Okay.
I'll throw us over here. Okay. And we can also create some labels on some things, because I think we have some like homework items too, right? Like I want to like look more into binding. Yeah, let's do scaffold project done.
Deploy scaffolded. This is so we feel like we've accomplished something.
Wonderful.
All
right. We rock.
Now, so I'm thinking the way that we should eat this elephant is by tackling the hardest part of it first.
Okay.
Which is this page here, right? This is really the page that does all the work. Everything else is like ancillary to this thing.
So this is create a new list.
This is create a new list. Now there's a couple different things going on here. There is a persistent nav bar across the top, right? So this is a component. This is a component.
I think those are set. Like one is that like nav. I would create them separate, honestly. Nav bar, login.
Okay, so maybe we should start with like a persistent nav bar.
Yeah.
Okay, so
Okay, this is so. Gil's got the answer here, by the way, on the binding. By default, if you only use bind, it'll update when they blur. You can change that using bind event equals blah, 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 such as key press. So we could say bind event equals key press.
Oh.
So,
yeah. So here it would be. Although I think I've lost access to this as well. I
don't know. It looks like I still. Oh no! It says. See down at the bottom. It says reload. To the page didn't load.
It didn't load. What do you mean?
Yeah. See down at the bottom, unhandled error.
Oh. Yeah.
So there's some wacky thing going on there still. There might have been some sort of syntax.
Being distracted.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Let's go back to our project. Okay, so we have persistent navbar. We have create a new list.
Right. Well, hold on. Let me go back here. This here, this component here, it is just an input, but it also...
It's that OG thing too, right?
It does a lot. Yeah. Like it checks to make sure that you don't do this.
Okay, so let's call that a new link component.
Yeah. New link component. And there, because there's like, and I don't know how we want to split this out, but like if we did, oh, no, here, that's fine. Yeah. So really you just need to validate it to make sure that it's a valid URL. That's, okay. This is fine. What about what about this up here? Or no, I guess we could do create new link component, create link list component. Right, the link list would be this thing here.
Yep.
This. With this, like, how the heck?
Okay.
Are we going to handle that?
Well, so let's make that a different item. Drag and drop reorder.
Okay. Is that a sub item here? Like, how do we?
I would do it separately, honestly. I don't know. Yeah, it could be either way.
Let's do it separately. So,
Yep.
Okay.
Do we have a thing in there yet about like login?
No, we haven't added, because you don't actually need, like, login is something we can add down the road. You don't actually need that.
I mean, but it's on our list, right? This should be.
It will be eventually, yeah. I mean, we'll have to. What's that?
I think we should put it on the list. It's something we're gonna do.
Okay, yeah, we can do it. So add.
I mean, that's part of why we're doing the whole project, right?
Yeah, yeah. So implement off.
Yep.
Okay. I see. Yeah, I see what you're saying. We're just making a list. These things are not in order. I'm sorry. Okay, so we got persistent navbar. We got off. We need this thing up here, which is like the create title. I think it's just called the publish component.
Okay.
Just this whole thing, and of course, this is complicated because, like, you can't do this because that's already taken, and that requires an API call and a database lookup. And all right. So
yeah. So okay. So any notes you want to put on those, like publish component must validate?
Yeah.
Need to make sure it's not taken.
Publish component must validate that. I need like a bulleted list here. So first of all, URL must be legal, right? So we need to define legal paths, characters, because you can't just put any character in there, because whatever you do is going to be the URL is /.
Yep.
Right. So we need to define. So we need to validate that. URL must not be already in use. Or This must not already exist in database. And I think that's it for that particular component.
Cool.
But like you can't do that. It's going to be interesting to see how we do this, like shake the little shaking of the box.
Yeah.
And this is important to me as a front end dev, like that little
Okay.
stuff. I'm very proud.
Yeah, well, so put that on the list then. Like should have, you know, like
should have shake animation when invalid. This is on blur. No, this is on.
It's on tight. It's on key down, right? Key press.
When invalid. This is fine. Yeah, it depends. Like this one's on blur. This is check on blur.
Oh yeah.
And this is. Oh, it is. It's on key down for both of them. You're right. We're gonna have to figure out how to do that.
Yep.
So publish button should be disabled while working. Okay.
What does while working mean? Until valid?
Well, yeah, publish button should be disabled until valid. But publish button, so when you click publish, it goes to the server, it asks the server to create the URL response, the server response.
Yeah.
There, depending on, you know, when you're doing it or what's going on, this can take half a second. And it's possible to hit the publish button twice.
Okay. So only allow hitting publish once.
Right. Yeah, but yeah, you can see that like publish is disabled when it's not valid. You can only hit publish once.
Yeah.
There's also okay. So let's update this. I mean, we could do this for all of them.
Yeah, I mean, this is honestly really helpful because then we can like we can start like there's all these rules you know in your head that I honestly didn't even know were there, right?
Navbar should be persistent on every page. It's on every page. Logged in user should see. Oh, we don't need to handle that now. Okay. I mean, that's really it. For the new link component, must have shake animation, red outline when invalid. This is on enter.
I don't see this project yet. Oh no, it's a different. Wait. Oh, it's a project under the org.
Oh, it did it under the org. Yeah, I think that's where it creates them. But it's linked to that, right? Or we can link it?
I'm not sure. I don't see the project yet.
You don't see it? Here.
GitHub orgs, the URL list, projects.
Try this.
All right.
Settings, project settings.
I don't see it.
Are you kidding me? Visibility, private, public. Now try it.
All right. Exciting.
I don't know why you're in. I think you have to accept your invite as admin.
I did accept. Okay, I see it. I see it now. This is great.
Manage access. Why do I have to invite you to literally everything?
So we can then start, like we can play with it, but we can basically queue up like, okay, next time we're going to start on this or that. Like one sort of obvious thing for me is like, we got to create the like data model and function. You know what I mean? Like we actually need to create the API.
Yeah. There's so much, man. I don't even know. We could spend like 2 hours just filling this board out.
I mean, well, but like before we can track anything, we need an API with a basic API with data model, right?
That is true. Yeah. So,
like, I don't want to go too into the weeds, but that's like, as far as when we're planning what we want to do next, I think on it, maybe we should do that next week. Like
The basic
build an
API
actual
with the
working
data
API.
model.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Or what do you think?
we could do that, where we just return a list of links from, like, we create a basic API with one endpoint that just returns a list of links for a requested URL. That's the simplest thing that we can implement.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, we can start that next week, I think. And then where I would go from there is doing I guess maybe the link list component, because we're going to create that API endpoint. We want to display it. So that would be the next logical thing to do.
So, so I mean, there's two different ways to go about it. There's like back end first or front end first. I'm cool either way on this. If you want to go like build out the front end, I mean, we don't have to like decide this second, but like,
let's do this. Yeah, let's do this, and then this, I think, is the right way to go about it.
Okay, sounds great. So like, we've got a working app that's deployed. We've got CI/CD. We've got it running locally. I think we're in a good spot to like start digging into this now.
The only other thing I want to check. So we deployed, right? I made a change and
this is a public. Oh yeah. So great question here from Cecil. We're gonna do up for grabs issues.
Yeah, we totally should. Yeah, we'll create issues as we go, I think, and because we're gonna hit stuff where we're like, and we need all the help we can get.
So we can create. So it's a balance, because we do want to do some of this stuff live on the stream, right? We can't let everyone write the entire thing for us. But so. Let's create a label, and we'll start marking some up for grabs issues on this, and then people can also go in and file issues too, right? They can go into the repos and they say, hey, like, this isn't working or whatever. Right?
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
I love it. I think then that's it for this week. Hour and a half of.
That's pretty good.
Not too bad. I mean, we could keep going, but at some point, I don't even know how long you're supposed to do this. Like, how many did you eat?
Probably about 6. I never eat downnuts.
That's like half of what you promised people. So you have to eat the remaining 6 right now. Or else we're liars. Yeah.
Wow.
All right, chat. Thanks for being here.
This was great. A lot of, as always, a lot of great like suggestions and things from people, recommendations, and then. Yeah, I think as we go more, we can involve, like, people want to have more suggestions. Like, part of what's interesting to me is, obviously, we want to rebuild. We want to add all the features that were already there, right? But there's also options to kind of rethink or add, make things even better this time around too, which is kind of neat.
Totally, yeah. Sorry, I got a barking dog in the background. The beauty of work from home, y'all. It's
there you go.
Underrated and also overrated. Yeah, this is awesome. All right, so we'll see y'all back here, I think, either next Thursday or Friday.
Yeah.
And we'll start on the API and see if we can get that list created.
Exciting. Okay. All
Thanks,
right,
y'all. See.
There we go. Oh.